Hi, this is Steve Adubato, and for the next, 15 minutes or so, we're going to be talking about innovation, business innovation in the state capital of New Jersey. Are you saying, okay, what's the state capital? It is Trenton, New Jersey. You know that sign over the bridge? Trenton makes, the world takes. Got a great panel who knows all about Trenton and business innovation. We've got Eleanor Kubacki, co-founder and CEO of the EFK Group, which is a woman-owned advertising agency. I know it's more than that, Eleanor, but can we get away with that description?
Absolutely. Yes.
And then thank you. We have Elijah Dixon, social entrepreneur. In what area, Elijah?
Trenton, New Jersey.
No, I know geographically, but an entrepreneur in all kinds of things, or what?
Primarily in the arts.
Geoffrey Goll is president of Princeton Hydro, which is an environmentally conscious organization focused on water projects. Is that right, Geoffrey?
Yeah, we're a water resources and geotechnical engineering and consulting firm.
Great. And Geoffrey wants everyone to know that guitar behind him, he plays it, but he is not a professional.
That's correct.
That. Eleanor, let's start with this. So business innovation in Trenton. Take it from the jargon of business innovation in Trenton to what does it actually mean?
Well, I think you have to be innovative to dedicate yourself to an inner city that is struggling. I think that is the baseline. And from there, that innovation just grows because you realize that you have to fight every day to bring new ideas, technology to the marketplace. So when you come into Trenton, it really, for me, I've been there for 25 years, my entire company's lifespan. And it really charges me up to work harder, do better. And as you can tell, all the guests on the panel, we all have socially responsible, conscientious companies. And I think that really says something to the mindset that you have to create. And, there is a new economy and there's going to be a new normal. And people like us are ready for that because we have to be ready for adjustments and changes. So we're used to that in Trenton.
Well said. Let me ask you this, Geoffrey. The term business incubator is thrown around a lot as well. You notice there's a lot of phrases here. We'll talk about the hub, if you will, the hub zone. There's something called the hub zone in Trenton. But a business incubators in Trenton. Talk about that, Geoffrey.
Well, I mean, it's really a great place to start up a business. The city is definitely supportive and encouraging. They provide incentives such as financial and for businesses that really want to get new and hit the ground running. I mean, we've been in business for over 24 years, but we felt we wanted to be re-energized by moving to Trenton to have that incubator sort of atmosphere. And it really is a supportive group in the area and provides for that innovation. Especially, for example, we're in the Roebling, John A. Roebling and Sons building. And you also want to be in an area that's very inspiring as well. And
hold on, excuse me for a second. Go back because we're going to show some of the pictures of Roebling. For people who don't know why the name Roebling matters so much, not just in Trenton, but in this country and the world. The Roebling building produced what? And why was that so important?
Well, John A. Roebling and his son actually built the Brooklyn Bridge back in the 1800s. Since then, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, they were the producer for most of the cabling in their wireworks in Trenton for bridges all over the country. The Golden Gate Bridge, the George Washington Bridge, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, any iconic bridge that's a suspension bridge in the United States came out of Trenton.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And that's where you're located, right? That
is correct. We're in the carpentry shop.
Got it. Elijah, let me ask you, you grew up in Trenton?
Yes, I did.
You did. And our producers describe you as a social entrepreneur. Define that for us.
Sure. So as opposed to your typical entrepreneur who prioritizes profit over everything, I'm heavily focused on improving the social environment of my community and ensuring that the jobs that are created, whether it's construction jobs, actual retail service-oriented positions, are all primarily sourced to the best of my ability from within the community. That way we are working to catalyze growth and long-term economic mobility for our community here.
Elijah, I want to follow up with you. Give us one concrete, powerful example, particularly in the arts, which is what you care deeply about as it relates to being a social entrepreneur. One concrete example, please.
in my area that I'm operating in, which is the Hanover Academy redevelopment area or the Crete Canal Coastal District, depending on who you're asking. It's still located within the downtown area, and the arts have been a strong catalyst for growth. Before there were market rate lofts, before there was the ongoing and future development of the downtown area from the state offices to other private redevelopment projects that are taking place. The arts were a strong catalyst to bring people in from the neighboring suburbs here into the city. However, there was not at the time, a willingness to really pay the artists for their work. There was not a hub for the artists to congregate, to be able to work at a below market rate, or even at times just bartering space for services. And so the Orchid House, which I founded back in 2015, really served as that hub for the artists here, in addition to other projects that are located, were located within the East Hanover Street corridor.
It's so interesting. You know, Eleanor, Elijah mentioned a hub. He's talking about one hub. But what is a quote hub zone? Is that an official name of a government program? Is it some sort of slang in Trenton? What is it, a hub zone in Trenton?
Yeah, so one of the greatest benefits an emerging company can get from going to a city like Trenton is there is a national program, and it is by the SBA, which is the Small Business Association. And what that is an organization that works to grow small, especially minority, women-owned, veteran-owned, so on and so forth. Organization.
1 second, is that Small Business Association or administration?
Administration, SB.
I just want to make clear, that's a federal agency. Go ahead, Eleanor, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, I said, I want federal accounts. I want to be able to grow my business. I went directly to their website. I signed up, and within 2 years of getting my certifications, I doubled my company. Now, I wouldn't have had, I know, after 25 years, if I only would have known. But the reason is that they nurture you. They tell you how to win these national accounts. What's so great about national accounts for emerging companies is on average, they're 5 years in term. So you get larger contracts for larger periods of time. And all of a sudden, we these smaller companies, get to compete with the big guys. And so much so is that there's another program where we got to become partners with the biggest ad agency in the world called Ogilvy, which a lot of people know. And they became our mentor, our official mentor. And we won CDC work together. We won the National Science Foundation. We're now working with the Navy. So it's unbelievable the opportunities that are out there for small and emerging businesses.
You know, it's so interesting to listen to see three entrepreneurs that are engaged in Trenton doing important things. But the expression in a city like Trenton has been used several times in this discussion. And I'm curious about this, Geoffrey. When people say, quote, a city like Trenton, I happen to be born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. And when people say a city like Newark, I think I know it pretty well. But I'm not going to assume people know Trenton is not like every other city, but it has certain urban challenges, issues, opportunities, problems, et cetera. How would you describe, quote, a city like Trenton, Geoffrey?
Well, it was the center of the American Revolution. It was the famous Battle of Trenton. Washington Crossing is right up the road from us.
Right across the Delaware.
Yeah, right up the road and across the Delaware there. And it was also, it's a transportation hub. The Northeast Corridor line goes right through the center of Trenton. Our office is only a few blocks from there. There's a light rail line, so there's lots of commuting opportunities. But there's also a vibrant business community and local community in the area with a variety of different foods, Italian and Spanish, Portuguese. I mean, there's all kinds of cultures within the city itself that makes it very attractive. And it does have its own challenges like any other urban center. But it's definitely a place where you feel the weight of history and the friendly local community.
And you know, it's so interesting, Elijah. Again, you know a city like Trenton better than most, being born and raised there. But again, growing up in Newark, one of the things about Newark is it has a huge corporate community. There's a lot of corporations that are there, that are multinational corporations. Trenton is different in that way. And some of the corporations, and again, having corporate support is huge, and folks at NJM, New Jersey Manufacturers, they are the ones who talk to us about this. But at the same time, there are other corporations as well who care deeply about Trenton. So my question to you, Elijah, is how important is, quote, corporate support, philanthropic and otherwise, investment, et cetera, in, quote, a city like Trenton? Elijah?
Generally speaking, corporate support in the form of jobs being located here, or corporate support in the form of them paying property taxes here, or corporate support, just like all of the above, whether it's in investments or otherwise, it's important. But I'm not going to say that it is critical, because Trenton has been void of those corporations for, I would say, decades. Since its deindustrialization. And so, what I believe is going to turn the city around, and actually is turning the city around now, is small businesses, such as the one that are ran by the individuals on this segment here. Individuals who are putting their money where their mouth is, setting up shop, setting up business, hiring individuals, and then we're creating an environment in which others, whether it's corporate entities or other small businesses from the region, are looking to now relocate here and take advantage of our, as Geoffrey has said, the us being a transportation hub, an innovation hub. Yeah.
And also, I mentioned the state capitol at the beginning of this program. It is the capital of the state of New Jersey. It is where state government operates out of. To be clear, the state legislature, the governor, et cetera, that's where the capital is. But also, I'm curious about this. Eleanor, how much is there a push for more and more people, not just to be involved in business innovation in Trenton, but to work, live, pay taxes, be a part of the community of Trenton? It matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely matters. And I agree with Elijah that we can't wait for corporations. We've been waiting for corporations to come in and quote unquote save the day, and they have not come. Now it really is about getting all of us together, organized and moving forward. We have an excellent mayor. It's the first time since I've been in the city that we have a mayor that reacts and is there to help us.
Your mayor, Reed Gociora?
Correct. He is absolutely wonderful. That's a huge win for us. And I look forward to us just capitalizing on all the assets that we have. But I agree, we can't wait anymore. We just got to move forward. And the truth of it is, at the end of the day, yes, there is a social responsible aspect of being in Trenton. But let me tell you this, is that I owe Trenton a huge debt to help, me become a very successful woman business owner. So it can be a two-way street.
So you owe Trenton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Geoffrey, you feel the same way?
So far, they've had our backs through COVID, originally we were looking at the space. We were thinking of backing out because of COVID, and who knows what the office atmosphere was going to be like. But the city and the mayor and really came through for us and helped us navigate, for example, economic development loans to move in. Our landlord was extremely helpful in terms of providing us with incentives on leasing. And the business community was extremely welcoming. And you talk about how, in the local community, we really feel there's an untapped resource within the city. One of the incentives for us is to try to hire more locally and have people and basically uplift the community at the same time we're uplifting ourselves as a business. Finally,
Elijah, are you bullish, positive about the future of the city?
I am. And that's only because I'm on the ground interacting with the various players here, and I know what's coming down the pipeline. I know who's doing what, and I must say that I am very optimistic, looking forward to the future here.
This has been a very interesting panel talking about business innovation in the state capital, which is Trenton, New Jersey. To Eleanor, I want to thank you and Elijah and Geoffrey. Appreciate it. That expression. And real quick, I'm running out of time, but Trenton makes, the world takes. Eleanor, still real, correct?
Absolutely. I believe in it and I'm here to stay. And there's a lot of us on the ground. So yes.
Thank you to all of you. And we wish everyone in the city of Trenton all the best, because it is our state capital, and too many people don't know about the city and why it matters so much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by NJM Insurance Group, Veolia, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Choose New Jersey, TD Bank, Kane University, Hackensack Meridian Health, and by Delta Dental of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by ROINJ.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who teach our children, the public sector employees who maintain our infrastructure, the workers who craft our manufactured goods, and New Jersey's next generation of leaders, the people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.